Okay, I'm only gonna do this because I've seen other people do it. But starts in 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
No. The reason why you do that is because you
want to cut position. Correct?
No, that's how you link the audio in the video. You know, you ever see where they slap it? You're trying to match the time that the card snapped and the sound of the snap, so that way from that point forward, it's.
I did not know this.
What do you think? They just went like, oh, take one, snap. They just did it for fun.
Yeah, I thought it was for fun. Just
okay. pure joy.
Pure joy.
The pure joy.
Pure enjoyment.
All right. Well, Nance, why don't you go ahead and introduce, or
start this off.
A
little bit of background. I guess this is just all inspiration from the Billie Eilish video that we watched.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With the interviews that just kind of like repeat year after year.
I see. So you want to ask some questions and then maybe revisit those questions in the future to see if anything's changed?
Yes. I would love nothing more than to do that. Poke your brain.
Super down. And then if we do ever figure out how to link the video and the audio, we are busted right now. This is middle of the night. It took us like an hour to figure this stuff out, and kid's finally like off in his room doing his own thing. So if we ever do this again, and if it works out good, I'll make sure that we look a lot better than we look now. So we'll figure this out. Yeah. It'll be fine.
Okay, so I do want to start off with a couple of things that I would say are just normal routine stuff that you and I both know, but just kind of see where you are in a couple of years. Would be cool to see if there's any changes or anything else. Okay. And then we'll get into some other stuff.
Okay, so we're going to title this Interviews with the Wife.
Sure.
All right, for now, it's a working title.
It's a working title. Okay.
I like it.
The Wife sounds a little strange.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite movies was Interviews with a Vampire, so I don't want to say Interviews with a Wife, know.
Okay.
The one and only.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I've prepared a list of questions.
Dope.
This was all last night. Nothing too crazy. Okay, so first one, we're going to start off with your name. What is your name?
So my name is Porfirio Escobar.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's very
beautiful.
Very distinct.
I don't know. Do you think that answer will ever change?
No.
Okay.
I will. I mean, I've said it before, but like for me, at the very least, I always say that my name will die with me. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want to like. I mean, if my kids or offspring or whatever want to name someone after me, that's their prerogative. Yeah. I don't really care. But I've had so much trouble with this name that I just want to.
Too many fights.
Yeah. Well, literally, it's just not been good. Yeah, I don't want to put any of my offspring through that ever again.
Got it.
So,
all right, thanks.
It is what it is.
Okay, next question. Okay. What is the year, or what is the date, I would say? So
today, we're like right at the end. We are on December 29th of 2020.
What a great year.
What a year it has been.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
Okay.
Nothing of note, oddly enough. Nothing happened this year. Like the history books, it's going to go from 2019 to 2021.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Absolutely.
Okay, so next is your age.
I am 30 years young. It's crazy. 2020 has been so long. I started it in my 20s and I'm finishing it in my 30s.
Of course.
Like, damn.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yep.
Such a strong year.
I know. Just ages you know?
Okay. This one, no puns, no innuendos, but what are you wearing? What are you currently wearing?
I'm wearing some busted clothes. I got a shirt that I either got at a Goodwill or stole from my older brother, but it's definitely like a size or two too big. But it matches because it's gray and black, and I'm wearing gray shorts, so you gotta match.
It's winter, so I wouldn't expect anything less.
It was comfortable.
Shorts.
That's really well, California winters can get
Gas
pretty
my
warm.
husband.
Yeah. Like I said, today I didn't put too much effort into this. We just hope it all works out.
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Okay. Ready for the next question?
Yeah, go for it. Shoot.
What is your marital status?
Ooh, married. I am very married.
Okay.
A little bit too married.
What is your work or employment status?
Shit, man. Right now, I am a ward of the state. Corona has like ruined everything. I was doing good. I've had a bunch of different trades, and then this year, just can't work because of the potential of death and destruction. The sad part is, I've taken some time to myself, and I've done like a lot of like stuff at home and a couple of little side jobs here and there. But the reality is, I'm just trying not to die. It sounds morbid, but like we legitimately know a lot of people that caught it, and it's all from different circles. So it's not even like
we caught it.
Well, you caught it,
You're right.
What was that? Though I walk in the shadow of the valley of death, I will not fear. Freaking the whole house had corona, but I was good. Willie was good too. He didn't catch nothing. But that's what I'm saying though. Like, I know a lot of people who've had it. My mom's had it. Your sister and brother-in-law have had it. I know people who have passed away from it. So it's rough. Friends from New York. It just hasn't been a good year for the Rona. So I feel like, though I've hated it a lot, it's also kind of been a blessing to, I guess be obligated to take this time to myself.
To stay home.
And I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Got to spend a lot more time with the kid. Willie's dope.
We got a lot done in the house.
We got a lot done.
Wait, let's not go there though, because we have more questions coming up. Okay?
All right.
I'll go to the next one.
I'll let that go. Yep.
Okay, next question. How many kids do you have?
I have one awesome little boy by the name of William Henry Escobar. And if you call him any other name, he will be so upset.
He will.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he really liked his name. So
yeah.
But yeah, super cool little kid. He's currently 3. He's about to be 4 in a few months.
Wow.
Very excited.
Crazy. Awesome.
Very happy. Yep.
Thank you. Okay, next question.
Awesome.
How many tattoos do you have?
Ooh, I have one. I have a fairly large one. I would almost say medium size. Maybe medium. It is the Vitruvian Man, made famous by Leonardo DiCaprio in that one movie. I'm just kidding. No. Leonardo da Vinci. And I got it in the back of my leg. It's a good size. It was my first tattoo. I went all in, and I love it. I got it because when I was going to college, I took a English class, and one of the assignments was basically, to pick like some sort of object and like describe it or whatever. I don't know. It was just it was one of those like they just wanted you to describe it to see like if you knew how,
use words.
I was gonna say how to use a thesaurus.
Right. Yeah.
How do I call this thing blue 12 different ways? And in that, I chose the Vitruvian Man. And I kind of talked about how it's like supposed to be like a duality. It's one man, but it's in different poses, and the fact that there's a square and a circle, and that they could represent like one's the physical extreme, the other one's the spiritual, and I don't know. I just kind of like broke it down as much as I thought the teacher wanted me to, and she loved it. She was like, "Oh yeah, cool!" Like, oh my god! And then she started calling me her Vitruvian Man. And then since I go by V, my middle initial, it's always kind of stuck with me. It's always been like Vitruvian Man, V Man, and then I don't know. And then I had a kid, and then I self-imposed the requirement of like, if you have a kid, you go through some pain, I'll go through some pain. I still want other tattoos, but like I think I'll reserve large ones for like those big moments. And he was like my little man, and I don't know, just felt kind of like fit,
Very nice. Okay, next question. Very good answer, by the way. So this one, I want you to think about maybe like just this past year in general. What are your hobbies and interests? Just, blanket, something general.
General hobbies. I mean, right now, the only hobby that I have left to me, because you can't really, because you can't do anything.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I've just been building stuff. Like, it's been my, I don't even know what I could list. The year started with, last year for Christmas, I got a miter saw, the little adjustable saw.
Also, you're welcome.
I heard it was a group effort. A lot of people pitched in for that one. But because I now had that tool, that effectively opened the door for a lot of projects. So I was able to build a fairly large workbench. I was able to put up a wall for tools. I built shelving. And then...
backyard stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So we were able to redo the backyard. We have artificial grass now, where before it was just dirt.
And you use your miter saw for that, definitely.
100%. You know, like the whole way. We're like, what's a box cutter? You're gonna get that saw. You know, no, but I mean, I think
planters.
that was the domino. I guess. So
definitely.
like I started in the garage, and I was like, oh, let's do more stuff. So then. You wanted to do the grass for a while, and I was more than happy to help. So yeah, we did the grass, and then I built you a couple of planter boxes, which we used the miter saw for. Did a bunch more shelving in the garage. Help me out. What else?
Willie's play area.
Man, well, it's not just even that. So yeah, we built a whole little play area. I built him a little rock climbing wall. A little swing set in this little back corner of the backyard that was of no use. So I just kind of wanted to put something there. He's got a little trampoline in there and everything. But let's talk about his room. My God.
You're right.
So
from the ground up.
Yeah, we have a renter who was renting a room in our house. And it's not entirely his fault, but when he moved in, the room was a disaster. And it just wasn't
It was
fixed.
just an untouched room in the house.
Yeah,
basically.
so we had effectively done like a lot of work in the house. And that's just the room that we just had never gotten to. And then maybe, we used a little bit of the excuse of like, oh, well, someone's in there, so we don't, we're not going to do anything. But then one day I just kind of got like fed up. I moved the renter from his room over to what was Willie's room. And then I redid the whole room, tore out carpet, put in tile, put in everything. I mean,
you built his bed from scratch.
Oh yeah, I built his bed from scratch.
Didn't have closet doors. Built the shelves in the closet.
In the closet, yeah. The whole bed frame was dope. It was I saw these little like IKEA hack things where you buy these little, I don't know, like little bookcases and you kind of put them on their side. I was gonna do that, but I couldn't ever find the right size, and I kind of wanted a little bit wider than the bed itself. So I ended up having to just make it. What else? I mean, I feel like I've done a lot more.
You built me a bench for the kitchen.
Oh, that's right. That one, that was like one of the first projects we did on the miter saw, but it didn't really work out. Everything was straight, straight as an arrow. Everything was great, and then I started painting it, and then I stained it. And I don't know what it was. Maybe the wood was too dry or whatever, but it just got warped like bad. And then I even took it apart once. I shaved one of the legs down, and it was good for another couple of weeks. And then right now it's like it rocks back and forth. So that was a failure. I'm probably gonna cut it up and throw it in the fireplace eventually.
You also made me a whiteboard for my classroom
in
the garage.
Ooh, let's talk about that. So because 2020 is what it is. So in-person teaching is out the window. So you started doing the video version of that, the online learning. And in order to kind of help you with that, I built you a little mini classroom. We took apart an office room that was in the garage. We got rid of it, and then we built like a whiteboard, and we even got
my tables.
Yeah, we got you some tables. Even there's a stand-up table in there now that we recently got
for free.
Yeah, and it worked out. So yeah, you got to teach
a classroom.
Yeah,
from home. You also, I'm going to keep going.
Oh, okay,
you also made shelves behind in that same area. You built like more shelving, additional shelving for the garage.
I think like 90% of the garage is shelves now. But yeah. Oh, and then also the shelves in the corner of our bedroom. Remember, you had that long, tall.
You're right. And what about inside our closet? Did we? When was that?
Oh, that was this year too.
Was that this year?
That was this
You're
year.
100% sure. Are you sure that wasn't like November of last year? I mean,
no,
it's all within the same year.
No, because I cut up the wood. I don't know. I might have also gotten them pre-cut. Who knows?
That's okay.
But if
But still, it's part of all of the nonsense.
The end of last year and leading up into the beginning of this year. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that was a long-winded response.
It was very interesting. So, in other words, you like to build it.
Yeah, I'm Bob the Builder right now.
Okay. The next question, we're going to move on here. Who are your friends?
Well,
it seems very trivial.
The funny thing is that it's both an easy answer and a difficult answer. Best friend, right off the bat, Sean. He's also one of my longest running friends. Met in high school, super cool dude. We just kind of get each other, and he's the only person I can talk shit to for 2 hours, and he can keep up, so it's just dope. Other than that, I mentioned the guy that rents. His name is Omar, a friend from New York, cool guy. I mean, like I said, it's both easy and hard to say because I also travel a lot. So if we're talking about friends that I can just pick up whenever I want and be like, hey, how's it going? And I got a few in New York, I got some down in LA. I got some local friends, some friends that moved to Vegas. People that if I were in the neighborhood, I can just call up and be like, hey, what's up? And then I have, Oscar. Oscar is actually if Sean is my longest running friend, Oscar is the dude that I've known since I was 8. But since we moved around a lot of those friendships are gone. He just so happened to go to my mom's church, so we kind of kept in touch. But yeah, I mean, with the exception of, we got Denise and Jesus and a bunch of other people that are just kind of in our circle. I would say that right now my inner circle is it varies, but it's mainly Sean and then whoever happens to be at our house at any particular time, which can vary greatly.
Interesting.
I mean, even your sister and her husband and stuff like that, they could even fall into those categories. Yeah. But they're once again just part of a circle that we have.
Very true. Interesting. All right. The next one's pretty basic. What is your favorite color?
It's funny because I go back and forth a lot, but it's no secret. I wear a lot of black, but it's not because I'm emo. Part of it might be because I'm a little overweight, so it helps cover up some of the lovely bits, But that being said, I just like black. Black's a dope color. When I was in New York, I was fit, and I was still rocking black. I just like that. It's just a cool color. I feel not only is it slimming, but it also, looks good. It's good for it's classic, timeless, good for any occasion,
Got it.
Love it. Yeah.
Okay. I know this is going to be hard for you. This is a very important question, though.
Okay.
What is your favorite movie?
Ooh. See, here's the problem. So I try to watch everything. And then, I mean, I don't want to say everything. I do a lot of research. In my mind, it could be wrong, but in my mind, my time is important. So whenever there's a movie, I do a lot of background research. I try not to see any spoilers, but I try to find out if the movie's good before I watch it. Only because I'm not willing, or I don't want to have to, lose 2 or 3 hours of my life on something that just wasn't worth it. Yeah.
Same.
So, but I will say I am more willing to try weird films. Films that maybe no one else in the room liked, but I love. A good example is when we saw that one movie, Under the Skin.
Oh, okay.
You hated it.
That's the one with Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, she's an alien. And I thought it was dope. I was like, dude, that was a roller coaster.
Wild.
But to answer the question, I think officially,
On paper, we're gonna write this down
in no particular order.
Oh, okay.
There's like a top 5.
I know you couldn't pick just one.
Cycle.
Though.
Yeah. So
okay, that's okay. Go ahead.
Gladiator.
Okay.
We recently saw that.
Recently saw that. It was
amazing movie.
Great.
That like makes up most of like how I want to view myself as a man. You know,
okay.
like just a great movie overall.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the cliche like guy movie of Fight Club. Everyone loves Fight Club. That one was mainly because, you know, I came out when I was like in my teens and, you know, shaped a lot of views that, you know, have had to be updated over time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a lot of it aren't like, maybe it's not the right thing, you know, and then, I mean, there's a lot of subtext, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then other than that, you know, I love Batman, so the Dark Knight movies are great. Favorite one was you know, Dark Knight, the second one. Badass movie. I can't, you know. Then we got Terminator 2. My God, like that's one of those movies where like if it's playing, I'm just gonna put whatever I'm holding down and just sit down and watch Arnold, you know, not murder cops because he was told not to kill anyone. And just do that for like hours. Like I don't know how many I said. Maybe I said 4, but we'll leave it at that for now. There's a few others, but I will say that rounds off like usually the top of my list.
Okay.
Because Interview with the Vampire is on there. And
that's good. I like that list. You know, I'm glad you were able to narrow it down so quickly.
I try.
Okay. Our next question is what is your favorite meal from this year that you've had? Ooh. Or that you've made? I mean, you were I mean chef's kisses in the kitchen.
I mean, I cook a lot, and I've cooked a lot in my life, and it's one of my favorite you know, we talked about hobbies earlier. I would say that's one of my hobbies, and
it's an interest cooking. Definitely.
It's very soothing, but favorite thing that I made steaks that one time, and like out of everything, I've made lasagna, baked ziti, I've made whatever you could think of, but I think what really like knocked out of the park for me that one time was that one steak, and I tried to recreate it last time. And my cousin Izzy and her boyfriend were over, and I tried to like recreate it, and it still came out good. I still loved it, but there was just one day that you and I were just like, hey, let's make some steaks. And I don't know what it was, but that particular time, maybe.
Well, you only had 2 steaks at that time. You were only managing 2. The other time you were managing 4. So
you're absolutely
that's a lot.
Right. And then I think it was also the fact that I had 2 different skillets, so 1 steak each versus 4 steaks, and I still had a couple of other ones waiting, you know, because I made one for Chino. But yeah, so, but that being said, so the best thing that I remember eating and just loving was that steak. It was like 1.5 inches, 2 inches, I don't know. But it was a good, thick steak with some sides. It was great.
Very nice. Okay. Here we go with another one. What is your favorite TV show?
Ooh.
I know.
I think it's official at this point, but I'll give it a Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Just phenomenal writing, phenomenal show. I've rewatched it like 4 or 5 different times, and then right now I'm on YouTube because of Corona, and I'm like watching other people watch it for the first time, and it's like that little glisten in their eye that you see when they're watching it. It just feels good. It
brings back all the feels from when you
know what it is? It's kind of like when you read a really good book, and then now you're jealous of everyone else who's never read it because they're going to be able to read it for the first time.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of ruined for you, but seeing someone else go through the motions, like, you know, chef's kiss.
Aren't you glad we have YouTube for that now?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, like, I don't know how I would have made it, because there's nothing to do. Yeah. Like, so all I do is, like, I look up places that I want to go to, and then look up people watching stuff that I like. You know? But okay. Can't go anywhere, so.
All right, and I know this question is not your area of expertise, but I have to ask, what is your favorite song? Maybe of this year.
Well, I mean,
that you've been introduced to something.
I can't say of this year, because
whatever.
I mean, you know me, like I don't really listen to music in general, and I am a generalist. So like I can listen to a song and I like it, but then like, you know, just kind of goes out the window. But I will say at the beginning of the year, or maybe end of last year, beginning of this year, a good friend of mine, Dakota, who I forgot to mention. Sorry, Dakota. You're dope. Awesome. Love you. You're my brother. Anyway, Nakota introduced me to a very, very good artist by the name of Michael Kiwanuka. And he just has a bunch of good songs that are great, you know, like Love and Hate. I think if you're gonna say like a favorite song of the year, that's probably like the one that I would say. So
we've heard it on many a road trip.
Love and Hate, Michael Kiwanuka,
okay,
dope song.
Awesome, I like it.
Stream it, highly underrated.
Perfect, good answer. I also like that song. The next question I have is, what is something you learned this year?
That the corona... I'm just kidding.
Of course.
Of course.
It's okay. Take your time. Don't feel in a rush. Okay.
I learned that common sense is not common. I learned that there are people out there that would rather see people die than be slightly inconvenienced.
Yeah. Well, we could also dive into that at like another time, but I feel like we're also learning at the same time that...
Oh, I know. I have an answer.
That maybe the internet isn't the best place to be getting all of our information. You know what I mean? Like, it gives us so much, but we have to learn how to filter it. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, we have. And you know what? I almost can't say that that's my thing for the year that I learned.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've always been pretty good at, like, trying to filter. Because I know that both sides are... pieces of shit. So like, you know, you gotta like figure out like who are you rooting for, and then you really gotta look into things, and then you know, you either commit or you don't, and then you know you follow through or whatever. But no, I'm pretty sure it was Dave Chappelle that was on a podcast, and I'm pretty sure it was with Joe Rogan or whatnot. I'm gonna totally butcher it, but the idea that he was getting across was the fact that we are being forced to face our decisions, our choices in life right now. Mm-hmm. I think, I mean, you and I have talked about how for a long time I was just chasing the money. I was just like, whatever it takes, you know, just, you know, get the money, get the bread, you know, like push, move up the ladder. So I've had corporate jobs, you know, Microsoft. I've worked for mortgage companies. Mm-hmm. I've done my fair share of a lot of things. And then while I was doing dumb things, you know, we got this place, you know, we've purchased our cars, we've bought, you know, our refrigerator, we've, you know, like, these are all things that we've done without thinking, you know, we just like...
It was the next step, really.
Yeah, like, oh, you know, it's a speed bump, let me just get through it and then go to the next thing. Because we're so, like, focused on the next one, the next step, tomorrow, next year, 10 years. But this has been like a full stop that's been imposed upon everyone. Yeah, true. And because of that, you know, you're not out at work, you're not out at the park or at the bar or at the movie theaters, you're at home, you know? So then you start having to think about, you know, like, am I happy with where I live? You know, like, is this house, like, my dream place? Exactly. You know, maybe it's not my dream place, but am I comfortable? You know, like, do I like this TV? Is this a good couch? You know, what about my bed? Does my back hurt every time I go to sleep? You know, like, but these are things that, like, it's the whole stopping and smelling the roses. But it almost feels like you're on a freeway and then there's a crash up ahead and you've been stuck in traffic for like 8 hours. No car is moving and everyone's getting out of their cars. So now you're smelling the roses. Not because you're like, oh, let me take advantage. No, there's nothing else to do. So you almost are obligated to like smell the roses, you know, which is fine. I feel like it's been a good reset. And I guess, like, in my situation, I'm glad that I've made the choices that I've made, that we've made the choices that we've made, because, I mean, as bad as everyone's had it, we've actually, like, not had it so bad. Yeah, like, you got sick, you know, Isela got sick, my mom, your sister, a lot of people that we know got sick, and, you know, like I said, I know a lot of people that passed away. I feel like
we're comfortable with our choices.
With the exception of all that horrible stuff that's happened, because of the choices that we've made, we've actually done pretty well. This has been almost like a better year than we've had previously. How long have I been trying to get a truck? Yeah, I've been working my butt off trying to, like, save up, and something keeps happening. You know, the other car breaks down, And this is the first year that we can pause and try to like see what we're doing, and then out of nowhere, like, oh hey, we have some money in the bank account that we weren't spending, you know, and then we're able to buy things and pay for things and fix things, and like I said, like, so it's been like an obligation for us to sit down and look at what we have. And then that's why you keep hearing about divorce rates going up. That's why you keep hearing about, you know, people leaving. Why? Because hey, I'm living in an apartment like a friggin', you know, rat in a cage, you know, and while I'm working, going to school, hustling, you know, going through the grind, you don't notice it. You know, you're in the studio apartment, but it's just a place you keep your stuff. But now that you can't go out, you can't go with friends, you can't even go to work, you're working from home, you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm stuck in a box. So what are people doing? They're leaving. They're moving around because why? They're being forced to accept what position they've put themselves in, and then realize like, hey, you know, maybe this wasn't a person that I'm compatible with, or maybe, you know, this stuff that I have needs work, you know, and it, I don't know, like I said, it's a good moment to pause and like become reflective on your environment and situation.
So you've had to not learn to be comfortable, but maybe learn what your choices were and learn,
I guess, appreciation. And be faced with things. I guess appreciation is probably, like, if it was going to be boiled down to one word, I learned how to appreciate things, you know?
I like it.
So.
Interesting.
I try.
Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. We still got quite a few on here.
That's fine.
Okay, this one is a goal. What is your goal for the coming year?
Oh, man.
Just speaking short term.
Well, I mean, short term is get this dang vaccine. Once I make sure it doesn't turn people into zombies or whatever. You're like, oh, hey, that guy's purple now because he took the vaccine. So, you know, I'm going to let whoever needs it get it first. You know, I'm chilling right now. And hopefully, you know, if the economy's not too destroyed, go back to saving money. Right now we were working on getting the venue set up. We were trying to build like a wedding venue. We already bought the land. We had things ready to go. We were saving up money. We got stuck on the step of just creating blueprints, you know, so that way we can get a quote and then try to get an, you know, investment. But we need a blueprint, because how do I know what to ask for in terms of fund if I don't know what it's going to cost to build a damn thing? So my goal would be to get back on that wagon, you know, start working, try to get some more money, save up enough for the blueprints, and then kind of keep that going. So right now, blueprints, that's the nice short-term goal, and hopefully we can get that knocked out and move on to the next step.
Awesome. Okay. The next one is something that you're thankful for.
You. Like, I'd be drowning right now if it wasn't for you. I mean, like, it's been bad. Like, this year, it's definitely been a tough one for me. Like, I've never been out of work. I've been working since I was like 13, 14, you know, construction, landscaping. My back's destroyed, you know, I can crack my knuckles at, you know, like, my body's beat. But this is like the first time I've ever been forced to stop, you know. I've slowed down in the past, like I've taken easier work, or I've gone like maybe not as hard on a certain job, but I've never stopped. Stop was so strange to me.
You used to work every single holiday. You never had like, it was like you at least worked one day out of the weekend, and it was like, you know, sunrise till sunset, and that was your day.
And then like, I think it got really bad when we used to like start arguing about it, because I would never see. So it didn't all happen like when we had Willie, you know. I think you were kind of okay with it when it was just us two, but once we got like more responsibilities, you know, a child who we had to rear and like raise, then it became more real, I guess. And then I guess the whole like, you know, first one out, last one in, kind of like killed us a little bit, but because of you've been working from home, and you've been kind of the one, you know, keeping the roof over our head. I mean, granted, we're not like struggling. We're not living paycheck to paycheck. Thank God. Like we were already like saving and like doing all that before everything hits. We kind of had a little bit of a safety net. And then what made it worse was the only way that you and I could both work was because your mom was watching Willie. Then your mom got sick. She got the valley fever, the fungal infection. And that almost killed her, and she still hasn't recovered. And it's almost like I mean, who do we trust? My
Yeah.
mom's gotten sick. You know, your sister's gotten sick. Everyone that we know that we would be like, oh yeah, watch our kid is sick. And like at this point, the only one that I trust is your mom to watch Willie, and she's not good. So it's like we almost have to rebuild all that before like I can realistically like go back to hitting it like I was. You know. And it sucks. I mean, I've made a couple of bucks here and there. I'll do little side jobs or side project and try to collect a couple of bucks here and there. But I mean, if it wasn't for you and the fact that you haven't stopped working and that you know you make, I mean, you by yourself make enough money to kind of like, you know, at the very least keep us afloat. Like, you know, we're still able to save a little. Like, I mean, what am I thankful for? You? Like, we'd be dead if it wasn't for you. Like, I don't know. You know, like...
Thank you.
I'm drowning right now. Like, if it wasn't for you, like, I'd be in the streets right now. It's bad.
We all would.
Yeah, but, you know, so I'm grateful, you know.
Oh, thank you. Next one is, what is your favorite memory from this year? Or maybe favorite time, I guess, something.
So, it's hard to say because you know, through the bad, there's been a lot of good. Overall, like I've never been able to spend this much time with my kid. And if I were to say like an overarching memory is just the fact that I've been able to like be with him and help raise him, and like he's a cool little dude. In the beginning, he wasn't quite used to me being home, so he butted heads a lot. But he finally got into like a point where like he gets me, and
especially when I was sick. When I was sick, I had to be locked in the room, and then all of a sudden the authority changed. It went from mom to dad real quick. And
and like it wasn't that like you were the only one. It's just that because you spent more time.
Yes.
You just happen to be the one to like be the authority more often.
Yeah.
So like I still had authority. It was just that he was used to like mom dealing with me type of situation. But then when mom was out of the picture because she was locked in a room for like 2.5 weeks,
that was a big shift. Honestly, I saw a lot of change.
And that's when like me and him were butting heads because, you know, every time I would tell him something, he almost wanted to like go ask you if it was okay. You know, like, oh, dad told me no, so let me see what mom says. So I had to kind of break that habit, and it was rough. I was pretty. I'm not gonna say I was like brutal and I like throw against the wall or nothing, but like, like I was pretty severe with punishments. You know, like, you know, the minute he screwed up, like that moment was when he got in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, whether it was a spank or whether it was like, you know, timeout, like whatever. Because I mean, we're good about
appropriate.
Yeah, we're good about not like, you know, punching him in the face or like hitting him with hammers, you know. No, I'm just kidding. But no, but like you said, like we try to be like equitable, you know. Like we try to, you know, the punishment fits the crime, you know. But like I said, like so overarching, those memories that I've made with him have been great. But if we're going to talk about like a specific memory, then obviously this past weekend, or not past weekend, was it yesterday?
Like,
we went in the
quite
snow.
literally.
It was awesome. Like I had a blast. Like, I mean, we were out there for like a couple hours just kind of chilling with the snow, but it was dope. Like I got to like throw snowballs and go sledding, and like
we had a whole mountain to ourselves.
We did. We had a whole mountain all to ourselves. And I mean, like, if I'm going to talk about like memories, that's going to be a good one, you know. And then what's cool too is like we've done a good job of slightly shielding our kid from like the severe aspects of this virus. So in his mind, my focus has been trying to give him a childhood. You know, because
he's had.
Because growing up, like I didn't have much of a childhood. My mom still jokes about how like I wanted a childhood. She's like, oh, you wanted to go to his friend's house, ha ha ha. And I'm like, I was traumatized, Mom. I'm not. You know, I wasn't kidding when I told you that I was like depressed, but no, like I want him to know that things are serious, but still have like that sense of I can be a kid and like it's not a problem.
It's not my responsibility to worry.
Yeah, because it's not. It's ours. It's our job to protect him. You know, like it's his job to grow up, and that's it. You know, that's his only obligation in life is to learn and
clean his room.
And clean his room. Well, now that exactly. I fixed the damn thing. You better keep it clean, you know?
Okay. Good job. Awesome.
Good memories.
All right. I love this one. These are my next two are my favorite. What advice would you give your future self at this point in time?
See, but it's hard to say because
It's
isn't my
okay,
future
just
self.
think about it.
I know. But like, I'm gonna answer it. But in my mind, it's like my future self should be wiser than I am. You know,
Be prepared.
So like, yeah, I'm like, hey, get your shit together.
Be ready for anything. At this point, I think we are.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Right now, I've gotten really into like philosophy and like psychology. I would just say, you know, don't lose yourself. You know, because I guess like I said before, like I got stuck in the grind. You know, 9 to 5 was like nothing. You know, let's do 6 to 10. You know, like let's just kill ourselves, right? And then you feel like a robot. So right now we've been forced to stop. So I would tell my future self, hey, remember like. This moment, like I feel like a lot of people want to discount this year, like it didn't happen,
Yeah.
I even made that joke earlier, like, this doesn't exist, but that's just the general consensus, no one wants to talk about this year, but I think this is a good year, like whether it's, with all the bad, you got to look at the good too, you got to say, hey, you were able to spend time with your family. These are the moments that that matter. What does John Lennon say? Life is what happens when you're busy, making other plans.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
so
where
your
we are.
advice is
slow down and smell the roses.
Okay, got it. I love it. All right.
Sorry, I'm too wordy, man.
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
word vomit, so I apologize.
It's okay. Okay. Next one.
Yeah.
What is your mental health status? I just want to do a mental health check-in. How are you?
My mental health status is it's complicated. No, I think
you
I'm
had to
good.
change that one on Facebook.
So here's the thing. So, it all goes back to like, thank God we were saving money. Thank God we were doing all this, A and B stuff. Thank God that years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, when I was working at the mortgage company, I hit a wall mentally where I felt like a robot, I'd wake up before the sun was up. I'd go sit in an office all day with fake light, breathing in fake air, and then get out by the time the sun was already down, and
drive 2 hours home.
And drive 2 hours home. So 2 hours there, 2 hours. I was wrecked. Like I said, that's our time that we were like arguing and fighting, and then we had other problems. Some people don't know, but like we had a miscarriage, and then Willie was actually like a rainbow baby, thank God. But so I was really in my feels at the time, and I felt depressed. I felt down. And then I got really into, like I said earlier, like psychology and philosophy. I got into stoicism, which apparently, like, every man eventually stumbles upon the rock that is stoicism. And then, like, it's like, baby's first psychology class type of thing.
Interesting.
But because of that, I got really into that. I got into humanism. I got into, I even went... I don't know, like Darwinism at a certain point, but no. So I got really into trying to feed the mind, trying to like get that mental health going. And like I said, it's part of the reason why I did step back and stopped working as hard, because I realized like, yeah, my wallet might feel good, but my body doesn't. Like here I am wasting away. I was heavier. I'm fat right now, but I'm like 60, 70 pounds lighter than what I was when I was working there. Because I was on my ass all day, and I thought it was great. Oh yeah, I'm at work. That's easy. I'm sitting on the computer, but no, like I'm physically dying.
Yeah.
Started taking walks. Started going out in nature. I've always loved nature, so I'm sorry. I feel like I'm like losing track of the question.
That's okay. Mental health status.
So mental health. So yeah. So because I was already in that mindset of like self-discovery and being alone and being able to like understand myself. When I was forced to stop and forced to like, look inward, even for entertainment, like I was already doing that. So I feel that my mental health is actually pretty healthy. And in fact, it's a little bit more positive than what I've seen. I wouldn't even say as before. I think I was already like on a positive wave. and then the waves kind of kept me above the water a little bit, you know. So like I do see people all around me drowning. It is what it is. And look at my brothers, look at my parents, you know.
I was gonna say recently on my TikTok feed, scrolling, and like a lot of people are sitting in their cars crying. I'm like, are you guys okay? Like,
well,
it hurts.
That's the thing though. Like everyone is like, here's the problem. Everyone's ready to give up, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like I always, you know, I've said this like 1,000 times. Like, what does giving up mean? Oh, I hate my life. I hate the situation.
Yeah,
I give up. Okay, give up just means you're gonna wake up tomorrow and do it all over again.
Yeah.
Like giving up equals no change. Oh, I hate my situation, so what? You're gonna stop trying to get out of it? Like there's almost like, in my mind, that it doesn't make any sense. So I'm always like, okay, if your situation sucks, you almost don't have a choice but to try to get out of it. You know, because what's the alternative? To be in the situation that you hate. You know, like
exactly.
So I don't know. So all of that is just little tidbits of like how my mental health is going, you know, like, so I feel like I'm fine. I'm not, like you said, I'm not sitting in my car crying. I got you, I got Will, you know, and we take trips, you know, we don't just stay in the house. Sometimes, like, we'll be stuck here, but, you know, after, maybe when you're off, we're like, hey, let's go to the park. Let's just go for a drive. Let's go to Santa Clarita. Let's go, you know, even if we got to go to a drive-through, we'll eat in the car. It's fine, you know, just let's just not be here right now. And I think that's helped keep a healthy mental status.
Got it. Very interesting. I mean, I did want to dive a little bit further, just a follow-up question for that. Because I know in comparison to myself, you were very quick to, like, you know, the news about the whole coronavirus thing, like, just, it didn't faze you. It didn't seem to faze you, at least. And for me, I felt like it took me a lot longer to process. So,
do you feel like it hit you, like, at one point, like, with, like, a ton of bricks? You're like, oh, man, the world is falling apart.
It's still hitting me at this current moment. I'm just kidding. No, but
truck went back for more bricks. What are you talking about?
No, so I don't know. I think, you know, I don't know if you wanted to touch on that at all. Like,
no, that's fine.
If it was perceived on my end, or if it was actually true.
Like, I guess my issue here is, as you well know, I have a commitment issue, but it's like almost the opposite, where like I overcommit. So whenever I'm presented with a bad situation or bad news, a problem, something, you know, something horrible could happen.
Yeah.
I'm very quick to accept it as just my truth and then adapt and then try to figure out, like, how am I going to get, like, around this, you know, like, you can't get through everything. Things are bad, but sometimes you do have to get around it, you know? So, the beginning of the year started bad. And then around, like, February and March, you start seeing that, like, stuff's actually, like, worse than what you thought. And then there was, like, a little moment where everybody was kind of on the same page, like, holy shit, like, you know, this stuff is serious. But then real quickly after that, like, that fell apart. So I feel like in the beginning I kind of accepted it, like, oh yeah, this is a pandemic. Like, you know, this is a bad thing, you know, and like, and
that's just,
and then I just accepted it, you know? And then you got sick, February, March. That's around the time. Oh no, was it June?
It was in July.
Oh, never mind.
This year's been a blur.
I know, it's just one big block of just pain. But yeah, like, I feel like with every little thing that happened, I just accept it and then just like, all right, well, what's the next step? You know, and then
very true.
I think from your perspective, though, you might be expecting the crying in the car, or maybe like, oh, I walked into the room and he was sitting there by himself, just kind of like thinking and like, and I haven't done that, but it's not because like I'm strong and man, you know, I'm a man, but no, it's more like I just process it like immediately, and then I busy my mind with the solution. Yeah. So like, oh, here's a problem. What's the solution? Versus, here's a problem. Let me sit on it for a minute and digest it.
I have to do that.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not saying that what I'm doing is healthy, because at the end of the day, I'm not processing anything.
Yeah.
Like, I just, you know, receive the information and then just, you know, in and out. And then, like, I distract myself.
Yeah.
So, am I really dealing with it? Probably not. You know, there might be a day where I'm, like, sitting in a parking lot, like, you know, like, like, we just did that, you know? Yeah. Like, there's a episode of Rick and Morty that, I think it might be either the opening or the closing, but I think I'm pretty sure it's the opening because it's a cold open. Like Rick and Morty just park their car and they're just sitting there like, and then he just starts screaming, ah! Like, oh my god! Like
that's a scene.
That's more like something that I would do.
Yeah.
Like, I would just get through it, and then once the burning embers and everything are in the background, and I'm ahead of it. Then I'm like, whoa, dude! Like,
what was that?
Like, we almost died, dude. But in the moment, I'm not thinking about, oh man, what if I die right now?
Yeah.
No, right now it's like, what do I do to not die? And then once I'm past it, I'm like, oh man, dude, I'm gonna need a drink, like a strong, stiff one, But I'm already past it, so like, I don't know.
Very interesting.
Call it fight or flight or whatever, but you can decide whether I'm fighting or running away. It might look one way or the other depending from like the outside looking in. So
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. I added this one just to be facetious or whatever.
Nice.
Name a special event that happened this year. And take the word special however you want, please.
Yeah. Well, it's special to me. And then I don't know if you had anything particular in your mind, but if I were to say like what was my special event,
this is your
I got to see my dad before all this stuff went down.
Very true.
It worked out really well. So my birthday is on March 1st, like around the 4th or 5th or 3rd, I think even. I took off to New York.
Yeah, you left like immediately after your birthday.
I know.
You were like, birthday! And then,
like, yeah, no, but it worked out really well. So I got to go to New York, and then when I got there, then I realized my dad was like in the middle of just a hellstorm. He had court the next day. Some cop was trying to screw him over on some BS. Luckily I was able to go with him and help translate, and he got off of that, so nothing happened of that. He had issues with like a surgery he was supposed to have. I was actually just supposed to be there, like kind of take care of him after like his surgery. He was supposed to have like a cochlear implant and stuff. But when I went there, they were like basically signing his life away. Like, hey, you have diabetes, you could die. You're old, Like,
yeah.
Like, we can't even guarantee that you're going to make it past, like, the first night or type shit. So I was like, dude, like, is this the only option? And then, digging in, it was like, oh, no, that's not. That's just the extreme option. Like, because he's hard of hearing. And I was like, well, what hearing aids does he have? Oh, he's got the worst ones. What? It's like, yeah, his hearing's at, like, 15%. And I'm like, well, I mean, like, what about that? Like, are there better ones? Like, forget like, oh, here's the different plans. I don't know, what's the best shit you got?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, what is that going to get him to? Oh, about 75. And what about the cochlear implants? Well, we're hoping for like 80. Then what the hell? Like,
yeah.
Like, okay, slightly better, but a much higher chance of death.
Exactly.
So like, I don't know. I was able to go there. Not only was I able to like spend time with my dad, but I was also able to like, bail him out of a lot of things that had I not been there, he would have had to deal with on his own. And knowing him, he wouldn't have dealt with them like in any like positive way.
Exactly.
It would have been a trash fire like that I would have had to deal with later. Or maybe his family would have helped a little bit, but it's just I'm gonna say like that
was the light in all of it.
So that was the special moment, I guess, if that's what the question was. What was the question?
That was it, basically, a special event.
Yeah, so the special event was, I got to be there for my dad because the week after I left, they shut down New York.
Yeah.
And then my little brother was over there.
You came back, and we were kind of like iffy on like, are they gonna
hold
you there?
But then what happened to us? We're supposed to go to Peru at the end of March, and I was looking forward to that one, and that was gone. There's still people in Peru right now that can't come back, because of the corona and stuff. So we kind of dodged a bullet, but like I'm kind of sad that I missed out on the trip, and like I'd never been to South America. And, it's just
very true.
It's sad, but it is what
missed opportunity.
Very much so, but I do want to one day follow through.
And actually visit.
I mean, we have a pretty good setup. Like if we ever went, like we'd have a good time.
Okay, interesting. Other question. What makes you happy when you're sad?
Cliche, but I don't know, just knowing that like you and Willie are there. I will say that I spent a lot of time growing up sad,
Yeah.
Anger and sadness were like good bedfellows to me. You know, they're just always there when I needed them.
Hello, darkness,
Hello,
my
yeah,
old
like, I'm not kidding, man. Like, so, you know, I got out of that funk when, you know, in my early 20s, when I finally was off on my own. I was able to kind of like do a lot of self-discovery. So, you know, I guess like that self-discovery process helped me get out of that initial sadness. And then nowadays, you know, I'm older, I'm 30 now, and things, you know, happen quickly now. You know, there's people that I know that have passed away, and there's moments of sadness. And in those moments, like, I allow myself to hurt, and it's okay, you know, to process those feelings. But what really gets me out of it is just kind of like knowing that you're there and Willie's there, and it's kind of like, you know, even when I'm alone, I'm not alone, you know?
Yeah.
So I think just knowing that is what gets me out. Like, I'm not like, you know, skipping and like jumping for joy after those thoughts, but it's just, it's my guiding light, you know, like I'm in a tunnel, but I can see light. So I'm like, I know if I just keep going a little further, I'll be fine.
Very true.
Yeah. So
very nice.
Thank y'all.
Okay. And this is the last question I have.
Nice.
Did you vacation this year? And wait, this is a double part question. If not, where would you like to go next year? Or we can answer both because I know we kind of took small things here and there.
I mean, did I vacation? Yeah, I went to New York. Like, you know, we just talked about that. The funny thing is that the New York was a last minute trip. My dad was having surgery, so I was like, let me just make sure he's cool. I'll take a week off, you know?
True.
And then that became my vacation. Granted, like, a lot of it was spent, like, fixing problems, but it was nice. Like, I can't complain about it. Like, I had spent a lot of time with my dad. I got to go hang out with some cousins and some friends.
Is that the only trip you took?
Am I
I feel like I'm leading you into this question. We did a couple weekend trips. So
you know what it is. You know what it is.
What is it?
A lot of those weekend trips that we take, because yes, you're right. We went to Yosemite. You know, we've rented cabins. We've been out in the woods. I almost don't count those as vacations.
How dare you?
No, I know.
The privilege.
I understand, man. I am broke, but I'm still more privileged than most. I understand. You know, I complain that I'm like the working poor here, but according to the world, America, the poorest American, still like the top 1% of the world. I get it, man. So in that respect, yes, like, you know, I might as well be, you know, in the moon for some people. Of course. And I get it. Like,
but you're expecting like Cabo vacation.
No, well, not even.
You're expecting out of the country.
So to kind of explain a little bit better, those trips. So yes, we went to Yosemite, and where else did we go? I feel like we've gone. Help me out. Huh?
Really?
Tell me.
We went to Joshua Tree.
We did go to Joshua Tree.
I'm thinking about Airbnb spots.
Did we also go to Selvin this year? Was it this year? We went to
Solvang,
whatever. Nice little Dutch.
They would be disrespected.
Settlement. I apologize to anyone from Solvang.
Solvang.
That's what I said. Solvang. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So yeah, anyone from Solvang, I apologize. You have great windmills and Danishes are amazing. Maybe don't boil your meat so often, but other than that, awesome people, great culture.
Not a euphemism.
No. Everything is like mashed potatoes and like boiled sausages. So, but you know, it's good. Okay. Just, you know, there's a grill like right over there.
Okay, so please get back to the point.
So going back. So those little like weekend trips, I almost don't view them as vacations because what I view them is like self-help. Like, you know, you asked about mental health.
It's a mental health getaway.
That's 100%. No, I'm not.
It's a recharge weekend, is what you're saying.
So going back to what I had said.
So then, what do you consider a vacation? Then, what is your qualification?
Well, so I'm getting there. So going back to what I said earlier about like how I felt like a robot working at you know these buildings. What I liked was all around the buildings were all these trees. You can kind of like for your hour lunch, you could do a lap around the building a couple times, and it felt like you were in nature, and I felt like that was a recharge. Like you need to breathe in the dirt and the grass and the leaves. You know, you need to like
crouches down, feels the dirt,
licks the rocks. You know, goes on a trip. Anyway, no, but like you need to like be in nature and understand you're somehow a part of it.
You're connected.
You're a puzzle piece that fits. And I feel like taking breaks in your life, and a lot of those were weekend trips, like you said, they were more like a recharge. Like I was plugging into nature and I was kind of like coming to life again so that I could go back to work. It's like my phone. I'm charging it so that the next day it's ready for me to use. That's how I feel with these little nature like trips. But for me, a vacation, at least in my book, it requires me to leave my life. Going into the woods and that, like, I don't consider that as like leaving my life. Like that's, like I said, it's a recharge. But I like the idea of I'm not going home. I'm gonna be gone for a week in a place where I don't know anyone, where no one knows anything about me, where I'm kind of on my own and like I have to like like hustle and like survive
for yourself. Yeah.
So for me, a vacation is like I'm leaving my work boots and I'm gonna be gone, and there's just a feeling that comes from like being in a new environment that you're unfamiliar with people that are unfamiliar for a long period of time, where you kind of become like you start becoming like more retrospective. You start thinking about your life back home, and then you eventually get to a point where you're a little homesick. I think that like feeling of homesick is what I need in order for me to feel like I'm on a vacation, because I've always said that there's like a specific feeling that I love where I come home. I've been gone for like a week or two, and like I said, it's like putting on a comfortable pair of shoes. It feels familiar. Like, I haven't worn these in a minute, but they still fit really well. And that's how your life is. So I've been gone. I haven't been home, and then when I do come home, it's like, oh, my bad. Like how many times have you come home and you're like, my God, thank God this. Well,
that's only because we picked the best bed in the whole universe.
Well, we tried to. No, but regardless of that, like that whole feeling of like comfort. I mean, it's gonna sound bad, but like pooping in your own toilet. I mean, come on. I know like my booty cheeks are the only one that have graced this porcelain. Like it just feels good.
It wouldn't be an interview unless you said the word booty cheeks.
at least once. Okay. It's like that shampoo that you left at home, not the little like carry package. I don't know.
Hey, I don't know about you. I'd be bringing my shampoo.
No, well, I mean, you pack like 3 suitcases, but what I'm saying though is just that feeling of like you leave your life for a bit, and then you're gone, like disconnected. You're not even talking to anybody that you know, and then after some time, so for me it's like distance, time, and then that return is what makes me think of like I went on a trip, on an adventure or whatever. So for me,
you're right.
My trip was New York. I was gone for like over a week, and I was dealing with my dad's stuff. I was sleeping in his place. I was like driving his car. Like nothing was my life. Like I'd go to people that I haven't seen in forever, and then. So then I was able to kind of interact, and then at a certain point you get that like, I want to go home, like, and then when you do, make that flight, even when you're at the airport, it doesn't hit you. Even when you're driving from the airport back to your place, it doesn't hit you, but you open the doors, you walk in, and you're like, oh, okay, like, this is comfortable. Like I've been here before.
I'm just laughing because I can think of, you said your vacation, because I didn't go on that trip with you, but your vacation was the New York trip, and my vacation was coronavirus because it was not my life. I don't know what state I was in. I was not myself.
You were in the state of denial.
I was in the state of fear and panic.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, like I said, it's different because, let's flip it a little bit. So in my book, you asked me what vacations you go on, and the only thing that came to mind was New York. I wasn't even thinking about these other trips, but for you, we missed one trip, but in your mind, we went to like 4 or 5 different ones. Anyway, so it wasn't really like a huge loss.
I was gonna say though, thinking about it too, like in retrospect, the Joshua Tree trip that we took, little Airbnb, that was a lot of work. We took William for one, and it was hot.
It was like 115.
What month was that? It was 100.
It was in the beginning of August, so I'm thinking.
I forgot.
It was after you were sick, so August?
Yeah, shortly after. It was like August. Right before I went back to work, no?
Yeah, no, it was. It was like the week of or something.
Yeah,
because I remember rushing back, and that was nice. And you know what's funny? Now that we're talking about the trip that like I apparently just ignored and forgot about, but
yeah.
I love that trip. I didn't remember anything about it, but until right now. But I love that trip. The main reason why we went there is I just wanted to go see some stars.
Yeah.
You know, it's what do they call that?
And we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Well, the first night we saw some. The next night was a little bit clouded.
I saw a shooting star. I am proud of myself.
Yeah, well, because around that same weekend they had a
meteor shower.
A meteor shower, so we got to see quite a few of those. What's the term? Like it's like a light pollution free zone, you know. So I wanted to go somewhere where like I could look up and look at the Milky Way and like be able to kind of see it, you know. And granted, at the time that we went, it probably wasn't the best time to see the Milky Way in all of its glory, you know, because you're supposed to be able to see it like really bright.
Yeah.
But you could still see it, you
Very
know.
true.
So I'd love that because we were just sitting around in a circle in the backyard and like a warm night. It was like 90 middle of the night. But that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Like you could be outside in the middle of the night looking straight up, and then we had deep conversations. We were like meeting Izzy's boyfriend for like the first time.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it was cool. Like we got to cook, you know. We got to kind of like, you know, do our thing.
Out. But like I said, it was work. So was it really a vacation? I mean, it was like I like your definition. It was a recharge. So
yeah. So
very interesting.
But yeah, I mean.
Well, thank you. So I can't wait to do this interview with you in another full year. So it's the 29th. So I think we should plan for, you know, around the same time.
Yeah, we'll
not
do like
after Christmas, before New Year's.
All right, yeah. So it's not necessarily like a end of year recap, but it's more of a...
Yeah, I think, like I said, I just wanted to check in, you know, just kind of like give us a mile marker almost. And like, here's where we are right now. Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, here's where we are right now. You know, and then where will we be next year? And how does it compare? What does it look like? What's different? What has changed? What hasn't changed? I think that for me is the most interesting.
I think honestly, like maybe I'm pessimistic, but I feel like not a lot will change next year. And
that's okay. That's fine. But in the off chance that it does,
it'll be nice to look back.
It'll be nice to look back
on.
It'll be a good memory, you know? And who knows, like 5 years from now, how many, that question I told you earlier, how many kids do you have?
I'm like 87.
That's the one that's going to change. How old are you? You know, things like that.
Yeah. No, I get it. But yeah, no, I'm glad we did this. This is awesome. You're a great interviewer.
Thank you.
And a host with the most.
Interesting.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, let's sign off.
Yeah.
All right.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.